Welcome to another video in our Impact series. I'm Henrik from Membrane, and this is where we explore how the art and science of B2B sales come together to drive real, measurable impact. Today, we're looking at how you can easily eliminate a bloated pipeline in just a couple of minutes. We'll be using Membrane for this, but the concepts are applicable to pipeline management in general. So this is a very foundational aspect of B2B sales. So let's start with this. We have a list of our pipeline opportunities. In Membrane, we call them sales projects. It probably looks something like this in your CRM, a report or a list of the deals in your pipeline. I'll make this a bit more visual by changing to the Kanban view mode. So this is great. We have a visual view of our pipeline. But how do you know which ones are still solid? How do you know which ones have started to lose momentum and go bad? You know, the ones that just stay there week after week with no progress. So in other words, which ones need your attention? Which ones should perhaps even be taken out of the pipeline entirely? Let's identify the hidden risks in this pipeline with just a few quick steps. Let's zoom in so we can see a little bit more clearly what's going on. So we have a visual view of our pipeline, but there are hidden aspects in here that we're unaware of. Deals that are starting to stall or time out or for a bunch of reasons shouldn't be considered healthy deals that should be in our pipeline without some course correction perhaps. So what I'll do first is I don't want to have to call everybody in my team up or have a weekly one-on-one and say, hey, what's the status with this one? When did we last talk? Some things I just want to be able to tell at a glance. So we're going to start with activity. When did we last have any activity at all with these opportunities? So I'm going to go into our process editor, and here we can see the steps we should take, the stages we move through, and so on. But today we're going to focus on rules. I will create the first rule in this pipeline, in this process, and it's going to be an activity rule. It's going to be very basic, so just any activity at all will do. You can, of course, be a little bit more selective if you want to have quarterly business review for your key accounts and so on. But for this, I'll keep it very simple for demo purposes. So I will add and move this up in importance and say, all right, if I have had absolutely no activity, not a single phone call or email, because again, activities I have full control over as a salesperson. I can pick up the phone. I can send an email. Ideally, I can have meetings and such where I engage with our prospective and existing customers. So here, I'm going to say after 90 days of no activity, let's put a yellow flag on this. And after 180 days, let's put a red flag on them. So this would mean that a deal is healthy until it has 90 days has passed without any activity. It would escalate to a yellow flag. After 180 days, it would escalate to a red flag. I'm going to save this rule, publish the process, making it available for everybody on the team. And now we'll go back to our pipeline and see what it looks like. Here, most of the pipeline is still green. It's all good. Great. Our team is doing a fairly good job, right, of staying engaged with our prospective customers in this case. But there are a couple that stand out. And now I can easily tell and say, well, all right, out of the 5 with a yellow flag, 4 of them are connected to John Boyega here. So Gold Hornet, no activity for 90 days. Ascend Veterinary, no activity for 90 days. And we have one from Michelle Yeoh here as well with no activity for more than 90 days. So this gives us an immediate thing that we can act on, both as a salesperson and as a coach or a sales manager. But I want to have a little bit more than this. I want to be able to distinguish between the activity that we do and having progress. So I can call somebody up 100 times a day, but I may not be able to motivate them to move forward with us or in their process, right? We're stuck, we're stalled. Despite the activities, I'm unable to move it forward, which happens. But let's make sure we're aware and we can act accordingly. So I'll go right back into the process editor and add a second rule. So this one would be the stalled rule. So activity, again, I can just complete that with taking a phone call or sending an email. The stalled rule, that requires actual progress in our sales process, which is a different thing. So let's set this rule up, and I'm going to have a few more levels on this one and just say, all right, after 30 days, I want a coaching advice, a blue puzzle piece to pop up for my sales team. After 90 days of no progress, that should escalate to a yellow flag. And then 180 days with no progress at all, that's a red flag. All right. So I'll publish this. And we can now take a look at a revised pipeline that now looks at both activity and progress. And here we can now more clearly and easily see what are the problem areas, where are we stuck, what are the challenges in our pipeline. And these are just two simple examples, but it's very powerful to be able to distinguish between activity and progress. And just to give you a bit of an example on how easy the activity thing is to handle, if we go into Ascend Veterinary here, where we've had no activity for 90 days, we're going to see how easily we can handle that one compared perhaps to something where we've been stuck. So I'll go into this one, and what I can do is just send an email, make a quick phone call, ideally have a meeting with the customer, but I'm going to make a phone call. I'm going to call Ray and say something, we had a great call, or I left a voicemail, or whatever it might be. So when I save this activity, the yellow flag here will go away. It is that easy. So it's a great tool set for everybody to stay engaged, spot issues like this, and then also be able to talk about and coach and guide and help each other out with the trickier stuff. Like, I've been calling these 100 times a day. I can't get them to move forward. I need some help. Or what has anybody else done in the team in similar scenarios? It's a great use case for a pipeline review with the team. So be careful when you add rules to your pipeline. It's very easy to overwhelm the team with too much, and it just lights up like a Christmas tree, and you start to feel like the tool we're using for this is just yelling at me. This is no fun at all. So be incremental, be careful, but having a tool set like this, activity in progress, is very powerful, very simple, as we saw, just takes a few minutes to do in Membrane, or whatever pipeline management tool. You could probably do something similar like this to just eliminate that bloat that you can't really put your finger on in the pipeline. So what you can do now when you have these rules in place is, all right, I want to see this by owner, because that will help me see trends differently. And if I have a coaching call one-on-one with a person, that would be very helpful. So I'm going to group this pipeline and say, I want to group this by owner. So this is the person responsible for the deal. And now when I sit down with John Boyega here, we can talk about, all right, what's new in the pipeline? What are some issues we need to address? Hey, can you commit to engaging with Marrow Transportation here before our next call next week? And what do we do about this one? It's been stuck. It got into our pipeline, but it hasn't really moved since. It's been stuck there for 180 days. Is it time to take it out? And you can really effectively manage your pipeline by just seeing this and acting on it. And in this case, we even go so far as the red flags actually even get eliminated from your pipeline. They're deducted from your weighted pipeline value, giving you better forecasts and a more real perspective of your pipeline. So what you can do here is, again, you can group by other things as well, such as health, and say, I just want to look at the major concerns in our pipeline. So here we now have the red flags up at the top. You can then move on to the yellow flags, and then you can start to explore and say, hey, this is an exciting opportunity. How can I help in this case? Or just have a great perspective of deals that are moving forward as expected. So grouping by owner is great for that one-on-one or a pipeline review. Grouping by health is great for you as a sales manager to just get a sense of what are the issues, or as an individual salesperson to really want to stay on top of their pipeline. Another aspect is, of course, from a more near-term forecasting perspective, to say, I want to group by closing date and say, all right, what are we going to bring in March? And now you can have a perspective, say, hey, what are we doing about these that have a red flag on them? Are we really going to be able to get them in as expected? What can we do to get them back on track? So the mindset here just instantly shifts from reporting, when you saw that list, that report of your opportunities. Hey, is this closing date correct? Is this value correct? what have we done here? How many activities have you done? Whatever it might be, right? To something that is collaborative. You can work towards problem solving and getting deals unstuck and starting to learn as a group what creates that progress. How do you stay on top and have that momentum in a healthy pipeline? So this is just 2 simple rules that gives you a much better sense of prioritization. It gives you stronger capabilities for pipeline management. And as always, I hope this was helpful and that we gave you some practical advice that you can apply right away in the tool that you're using. And keep following the Impact series as we here at Membrane continue to try to elevate the sales profession and continue our journey with you.